Hail, hail, and welcome to the HomeBhoys Late Podcast. It is Thursday, the 14th of November. I'm, of course, Joe Mackin. We are back. It is a Thursday night podcast because Friday nights now we've all got stuff going on, so we're trying to be more sensible and move it closer to the middle of the week. But again, we've lied to you before. So, joined by a man who's every week his username changed. This week he's Green Sky Fanboy, Marty Flynn. Marty, you want to explain what it is?
I'll explain later. Fuck you.
Marty Musk.
That's it. Marty's been in space a long time.
Where's this link that I shared on Green Sky?
Give me a second, folks. I explained this to you before you come on the show, and all of a sudden I busted my balls. I told you this. My blood pressure monitor's going off. You fucking happy now?
Joe, nobody can see it for the fucking incense flying around your room. Adam score. Oh no!
I'm trying to relieve stress. You're not fucking helping, right? Anyway, try by a man who can relieve stress. Liam. That's not Liam, by the way.
That's I relieve stress by pretending to be a dog.
Comedy time in there, but it's off.
The Toff must have just saw the Ireland goal, so fair play to him.
That's it. Fair play, Toff.
How you doing, Liam?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I don't really know what to say after that, so we'll move on swiftly.
It's like starting the hurdles by running through the first three hurdles and then going right now. I can jump. After fucking crashing.
That's the best intro I've ever had, to be fair. So I'm sticking with
Joe, that was you doing PE in school, Joe.
That was me doing PE in school. Listen, Marty, I've got 3.5 minutes of 5-a-side highlights in my head that you wouldn't believe. Now, they're not as good as our guests' 50-yard screamer at Celtic Park. You know what I mean? But of course, we're joined by a man who's under pressure to deliver a piece of wood. Jason Higgins.
Oh, Jesus. All right, Trips.
What's happening, brother? You good?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a good time with this intro.
Just happy with one of Marty's Green Sky disciples.
Absolutely, I don't know how much money Marty made out of the 940 people that he got to fucking join.
Marty Koresh. There's a cult getting built here, by the way. We could build flames within the fort, mate.
The brunch St. Jamesians. Okay.
Marty Koresh.
Imagine if it was Hanson Marty doing this as well. Fuck me.
I know, mate. I know.
The place would light up.
Oh, fuck's sake. Anyway, folks, we are joined by a guest who we want to get moving on the chat. We're joined by lost my breath there. The one and only Joe Mackin from the Kano Foundation. Joe, can you hear us there?
Can hear you loud and clear, lads. See, some things have never changed.
No,
fucking still mad. That's your sober thing.
Well, half.
Still a ramshackle fucking outfit of people who just, listen. God knows why anybody tunes in, but they do. People are fucking weird. So anyway, Joe, we have you on because the Kano Foundation announced that recently that there's a huge event happen next year, and there's a number of things to be talked about, I suppose, in terms of that. I want to get you started on it, and Liam's gonna kind of come in and talk to you about it while I do the technical stuff in the background. But can you give us a kind of lowdown, or even where this idea came from?
Well, you used the word huge there. I must admit, I'm shitting myself. We have. For some mad reason, it took upon myself to book the armadillo, and all the mad bastards agreed with me. So we have now booked the armadillo for a night next April 26th, Saturday 26th of April.
Fantastic.
Basically, it's for 15th anniversary next year. So this will launch for 15th anniversary. How old does that make you feel?
Oh, fucking hell.
And I was the doctor on Tuesday. I felt old. Fuck me. You've just put the hammer in the fucking God's sake.
So that's the basic of it. We've got 3,000 seats to sell out the armadillo.
You sell that, bother.
Nah, I can't know, Jason. That's his spirit, my man.
Well, no problem at all.
So, Joe,
That's what I told. That's what I told you. That's what I told the rest of the committee. Now I'm shite myself because I need to sell them.
I'm sure
you got to go out and introduce the show, Joe.
Sorry, Liam.
I said, are you going to go out and introduce the show, or are you going to get Will
No, I'm hoping to get a big name compare to do it, but that's still to be decided. I've asked them yet.
So give a wee rundown of, like, I don't know if you've got it finalised or whatever, but what kind of night is it going to be?
It basically is. It's basically going to be a music night. We've got the Wakes, Liam McGranville. We've actually got a band for Belfast, Hot Whiskey Irish folk.
Oh, fuck. Hot Whiskey's amazing. Sean McCurry, what a man.
Sean, that's right. So I keep hearing, aye.
What a man. Fuck me. What a coup. Brilliant.
I used to watch Sean during lockdown. That's all I did. In his back garden.
Sean and his dad, Sean Moore.
That's right, aye.
Gail's good jaw. Gail's good lure.
So we've got a few names. We've got a lady, Emma Hale. Don't know if anyone's heard of her. She's a nice singer. She sits at the piano and that, sings away. Trying to get like a opera type singer. So try to get something a wee bit for everybody. We will obviously have a few Celtic tunes, but it won't all be all Celtic tunes. It'll be a variation of music, shall we say. We'll also have a host of former players. Try and get a few former players on stage, have a wee chat with them. So basically just a wee night to celebrate 15 years of the Kano. That's basically it. That's the whole idea behind it all.
Brilliant.
Well, that's some lineup. Well done, Joe. Jesus Christ.
We were trying. I've been trying for months. I tried to get. You name it, I tried to get them. Lewis Capaldi's and guys like that. Paolo Nutini's, Saw Doctors. So I've been trying and busting my arse for months on it, but it's trying to get these people. Even when you get their contacts and their phone numbers, they fucking just ignore you, basically. Do you know what I mean? Who am I? So it has been hard, but we've got a line up now, which I think is a healthy lineup. It will be a fucking great night. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. No, definitely.
So Joe, so obviously by the time you get to April, you'll have no doubt loads more milestones that the foundation's achieved, and obviously anyone that's listened to this podcast knows what you're all about. We've been promoting you well before my time. The guys have been promoting you forever and ever on here, and you know it's probably one of the proudest things all of us as Celtic fans stand behind. The Kano Foundation, all done by the support. You know, it's incredible. But just give us an update, Joe, in terms of, you know, where are you now in terms of season tickets and kids for the turnstiles and stuff, and you know what's the latest markers you guys have put down?
That's a fantastic question, actually, because the next game is is it Ross County? It's 18,000th kid.
Wow.
So our next game, we're through the 18,000th mark, and I think by the time March comes, I think it's the middle of March, will be 19,000 kids. So
that's a
our season ticket is still the same for 184. It's actually practically impossible to get anymore. We would buy more, but it needs to be in that square, that wee block that we've got. So it's been a bugbear for years and all with Celtic. It's like there's people actually sitting in our block of seats that have been there basically forever, maybe 20 people or something like that. But Celtic won't even let them to move them. The people have no intention of moving. So that's the only way we can get new seats, is if people actually get up their season ticket. Do you know what I mean?
And
so
Joe,
it's hard. With Celtic doing so well, if people are only getting up their season ticket, so it's hard for us to expand.
Yeah, and Joe, we've tried to kind of articulate this before, but people might just think the kids turn up and they walk in the stadium and they go to the game and they go home. But obviously, it's way more what you and all the guys do. So just talk us through a typical match day so everyone understands the kind of effort and the commitment that's going on.
Typical match day for us and the kids will start about 12 o'clock, 12:30. We meet in St Michael's Church Hall. We've got a woman that brings food in. She makes all the food up. she brings it in. We help her get all the food in. We set up all the tables, get the kids in, and every kid that turns up gets basically a 2-course meal. They'll get chips and burgers, and they'll get maybe sometimes get a wee bit of ice cream. They'll have their juice and all that. Before they go to the game, we put on a bit of music. We've got a speaker and that. And sometimes it varies. Sometimes the Waynes just go up and sing. Sometimes the Waynes would request songs to sing, wee groups. They just have a ball before they even go to the game. So we get them all lined up, ready to go to the game. And we walk from St Michael's right round to the stadium. We go through like the wee scheme where a bars factory used to be.
Yeah.
We walk through that scheme. And halfway through that scheme is like a break in the flats, and the stadium just kind of appears, and all the Waynes kind of just stop and stare and amazed at the size of the stadium. So can you imagine their faces when we actually walk round Janefield Street and walk up to the stadium?
Incredible.
Because even at this stage, there's a massive percentage of kids that have never ever been to football, any type of football. You know what I mean? It's not just Celtic games. It's unbelievable. I know this day and age everybody's finding it tough, but we're still shocked at the amount of kids we get that have never ever been to football.
Yeah.
Do you know one thing to touch on, Joe? I thought it was amazing. The Aberdeen game, you had actually Aberdeen supporters in, you had kids in with the Aberdeen stuff. I thought that was brilliant. What was that? Is that the first time you've had away supporters?
No. It's the first time we've had like a group away supporters wearing their colours.
Yeah.
We've always see throughout the years, we've even had Rangers fans, Hearts, Hibs, with St Mirren fans on Celtic TV once. We don't ask the groups to bring Celtic fans. Anybody can come to the football. We don't discriminate against anybody. Sort of thing.
I get there's been loads. I mean, there was when St Thomas's, when my kids came, there was a couple of kids there would have been Motherwell fans and that, you know.
Yes.
But this is the first time there's been an organised group of like away supporters in these. I thought it was class. I thought it was brilliant.
What happened was Grampy and Emerald applied to bring kids down.
Right.
So the Grampy and Emerald bring kids every year, but a lot of the times it's mixed kids. So I think this time it was 14 out of 15 were Aberdeen fans. So we just put them right down the front so they could go on the telly and whatever. And the kids had a ball, man. They just loved every minute of it. So I don't know if you've seen the video before the game, the wee boy was singing in the church hall.
Brilliant. It was absolutely.
He was singing an Aberdeen song in the church hall, and we were all clapping and applauding him and all that, joining in with him. It was brilliant, man. But it just shows that the kids, how like say the kids mix and just have fun, really. That's probably the best way to explain it. They batter off each other, do you know what I mean? They're all running about the same age. There's no badness in the kids. They just want to have fun. They're having an experience of their life. The kids came from a youth club in Aberdeen, allegedly for a not so good area, and the youth worker that was with them couldn't believe the hospitality they got. You know, every 2 minutes she's done, I can't believe this. Thank you very much. Thank you. Stop saying thank you. It's just what we did, you know what I mean? It doesn't get any special. That's just what happens.
Joe, see you describing that walk from not even the walk, but like the environment in the church hall. Like it's just, again, I remember I brought 2 groups of kids, and one was like the 1 years ago, the first time I brought over, and then the one was my son's football team, and like here from Bob Brigham, and like. See, again, it's just amazing to see people completely floored by the idea that it exists, right? By the idea that it's there and that it's part of the football. It's part of the football day experience, right? But see when you talk about that walk down and that break when just a part of the stadium just appears to the crack.
You know the corner I'm talking about then?
Exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's basically the Green Brigade corner, isn't it? It's that corner of the stadium jumps out.
It just jumps out and they all go, whoa, and see the noise like you kids make when they go, whoa, it sends a wee shiver up your spine. You go, fucking yes. Dude. And again, see the kids that I still have contact with. The first group I brought over, wouldn't have contact with them anymore because they were from the inner city Dublin, and it was a particular job. But the kids that went with me to the football team, I'm now their assistant coach to the team. still talk about it, still ask me, are we going back? Can we go? Still talk about it, still talk about it. I mean, constantly, and they come to training wearing Celtic gear that they bought on that trip, because none of them had any Celtic gear before they went on that trip. I mean, they turn up with their Celtic gear, and I'm like, and I see there's something about it. Just watch it go like, see that's the impact. That is the impact.
Well, see the Aberdeen kids, they still took the Celtic scarf and the Celtic hat. A lot of the other kids just leave it in the bag and we get it at the end, or they'll say to them, just, they don't want a bag, we'll take the bag and take the sweet. You don't need to take the scarf, but the Aberdeen kids took everything. It was brilliant, honestly.
So this is an invasion, Joe, is what you're saying?
Joe's evangelizing. St. Joseph the Evangelist.
I wouldn't be surprised that the 13 of them, if there's one or two, do you know what? This Aberdeen was there. As they maybe ever well look for life. Maybe there's something better out there.
Bus trips are good crack.
I'm sure that was actually part of the thinking of the boys for the Grand Prix. No bringing them down.
Very possibly keep the bus going.
Keep the bus going.
Buses don't run themselves. We need the younger generation coming through.
Hey, man, that's
Right.
I think
absolutely brilliant.
I think as well, Joe, you probably didn't emphasise it enough earlier, but the start point of this was trying to help disadvantaged kids, not exclusively, but people that don't get the opportunity to get to the game. And like you said, there is hundreds, if not thousands, of kids in the footprint of Celtic Park who have got no financial possibility of getting to a game, and that's always been your target audience. But again, not exclusively. Everybody's welcome in. And I've heard, I've spoke to you, I've heard stories about kids turning up without a jacket, without a jumper in the middle of winter, and you've had to go out your own pocket and buy these kids a jacket or something. And that's the ethos of what you're trying to do here. You're trying to give kids an experience that they'll never get, any other way, which is incredible, really.
You get middle of winter and kids turning up with Crocs and things like that, and it just breaks your heart. Do you know what I mean? It does. So you can't show that. You just got to get them involved and just try and make them have the best time that they can. We're no perfect. We still miss out things or run about like maddies half an hour before the game, but it just seems to always click. It doesn't matter the hardships we've got all during the week or whatever. See, when you see the men's faces, it's all worth it. It's all worth the arguments. It's all worth the hassle, the running about. It's just worth it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And Joe, probably one of the things we don't really talk about in here, and you probably not mentioned, but obviously I'm going to say unfortunate enough to be at these every year when my kids were young, because I was always hungover. But like your Christmas parties that you run every year with, I don't know what the numbers were, 50, 70, 100. But
it's about 150 kids now. Hang on, 120, 130, 40, 50. We moved to a hall in Clydebank.
Right.
Golden Friendships Hall in Clydebank. So that's a wee bit bigger.
Right.
Sort of thing. It's got kind of a separate hall for food and things like that where they make the food. It's got a big stage.
I'm delighted to be out of them, thankfully now. But for the kids, it's absolutely incredible. It's everything's laid on for them: food, Santa, SpongeBob, all sorts, face painting, balloons, whatever else. Everything
like that. They get selection boxes. You say Santa. They get a normal Celtic is a player. So I think so. Normally they get a big line of queue and get their autographs and things like that as well.
Yeah. Fantastic. And these are the things probably people that are donating or considering donating or know little bits about the foundation but don't know, exactly what goes on. And there's so many different things you're doing, which is, it's just to be applauded all the time. It's really, really good work.
It is. It's like constant during the week trying to, you imagine, say, a group of 20, but a group of 20, say it's a school and they can't get a bus, so they pull out. So then you're scrambling about on a Thursday night trying to get other group of 20 to fill in that space and shuffling people about, maybe pull out another 10, give them another game so you can get a group of 30 in. Do you know what I mean? So it's just madness, or constant madness. So
and obviously, Joe, you've got all that pre-administration as well, with health and safety and whatever, which where you've got to register everybody and you've got to do disclosure and all this sort of stuff. So
you've got Celtics rules as well, stadium rules, and you've got to tell all the kids they can't do this, can't do that, and
so a huge amount of work. Yeah, and obviously your little group has grown massively, Joe. You've got loads of volunteers and trustees and whatever else now. So
we've got a core about 8, 9, 10 people that just take kids to the football.
Good.
Sort of thing. You know what I mean? They'll turn up, they'll set out the tables, they'll dish out the food, they'll get all the juices ready, they'll clean up the hall after we leave. When they leave the hall, somebody will stay behind, clean up the hall. The other ones, we've actually got to, because we're crossing roads, we have about 8 or 10 kind of probably marshal the kids on the walk so that they don't step on the roads, and we stop the cars or stop the kids to let the cars go past. So it's a wee well-drilled organisation now. It's kind of a lot of people just kind of know what they're there to do and go and do it. Well, 2 people will go and do we've still got to flash all our tickets. So 2 people will go and do all the tickets, get the flag and all that down the front. Then another 2 will put all the weightings into their seats. So they've all got wee jobs, sort of thing. But they basically are just a match day team. Then we've got our trustees that kind of oversee and go to the meetings and whatever, the financial side of it and things like that. So they don't get involved in all the politics yet. They just take Wayne's to the football.
Yeah, good. That's good. Go on, Jason.
Sorry. We're on YouTube now, so there's a lot of listeners that maybe didn't listen to our show previously. So for anybody that's wondering how to donate, see if you go onto the Kano Foundation page, there's a link to donate, and you can set up a wee standing order and just set it's either direct debit or standing order, I can't remember. And you just, and it's either £1, £2, a £5, a £10 a month, and it just comes out your bank monthly, and all the money goes direct to the Kano. And as Joe was saying, for anybody that's listening, if you can hear the work that the guys do, and all it is it's selfless, and it's just getting kids into Celtic Park and just getting them a wee experience at the game. And so if anybody that's listening that didn't know much about the Kano Foundation, just take a wee look into their website. We'll post a link, and just sign up for it and do a couple of quid a month or whatever.
I'm sticking the link in. I'm sticking the link into the chat now, which goes to it goes to Facebook, it goes to YouTube, and it goes to Twitch. So
that's actually still our main source of income, is the direct debits and PayPal's. Everybody throughout the world just sends us, like you said, £1, £2. I mean, a £5 a month buys a season ticket. That's the easy way to look at it.
Yeah.
So it does for a kid.
I know. And it's if you take yourself back, Joe, maybe the Kano Foundation was a couple of years old or whatever, and mind you were toiling, and you come onto this show, and we all have to get. So that was like, and basically the Kano Foundation was on its arse, and then the Celtic support just rallied round, and it's became an absolute juggernaut now, which is absolutely amazing to see. And as Liam touched on, it's the one thing that every Celtic supporter must be extremely proud of, because everybody plays their wee part, big or small, any big, small donation or whatever, but it's fully fan driven. And just to look out of your section when you're sitting at the game, it just puts a smile on everybody's face. It's just incredible.
See, during the COVID years, Celtic still took 22.5 grand or something off us for the season tickets, knowing we weren't going to use them. So the fans ended up raising, as you know yourself, remember it was on in Eddie Toner, was kind of a fundraising. They raised 72 grand during COVID.
Unbelievable.
No, they did. It's everything's fan funded. We've never had a lot of the grant. We don't get anything off Celtic. Everybody thinks Celtic gives the tickets and Celtic do this and Celtic do that for you. Nothing for Celtic. It's all fan funded. We'll still go to games and people walk up and give you 20 quid and tenors. So the supporters buses will walk in and give you a cheque for £200, £500, £1,000. Just come up to you in the game and hand you a cheque. It's amazing. So there's things people do for you.
No, absolutely. And it's, do you know what? There's a bit in his glad that Celtic don't do anything, because your conscience is clear and you don't owe them anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's, you do your own thing, and that's it.
That's always been our stance. See, because we buy the tickets, they can't really dictate to us where we go or what we do. You know what I mean? Because we're paying partners that buy tickets. We buy season tickets just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say that it's probably the biggest source of frustration and the biggest source of pride at the same time. That the club don't make life easier for you and don't give you a pathway, but then you can look back and say everything here is driven by the support, every single thing, and it's one of a number of things that make us unique amongst European world football, whichever far you want to take it. And Joe, I don't know if it's caught on anywhere else. Jason, I know Everton were talking about potentially doing it at one point, but I've not seen
I
it.
tried to get folk hooked up with Joe and that, but it would take too many people, and just they weren't willing to put the effort. You know yourself, Joe, the amount of effort it is, and it was probably, God rest Martin Kane, right, and that was the catalyst with a few of his pals, etc., got together and wanted to do something for him, and then it just grew and it just morphed into this amazing thing, and you got buy-in for everybody. See clubs starting for a standing start, no having a trigger point or whatever for them to do it on their own. It's very, very difficult to get clubs to buy into kind of something that it just seemed kind of natural to Celtic supporters to gravitate to this and to organise this ourselves. And it just shows you the uniqueness of our fan base. I wouldn't say the uniqueness of the football club. I would say the uniqueness of the Celtic support. And that's what makes the Kano Foundation. You know,
it definitely does. That's the drive behind the Kano Foundation as a Celtic support. So as every function we go to, people don't believe you, but we always say it's Jews. If it wasn't for Jews, this can't happen. It's true. Doesn't matter how much I put in. I still need the pounds and fivers and tenors and things like that to make it all tick and make it all work.
Yeah.
And if I don't have that, then there's nothing behind it. And everybody I've spoke to, as in regarding other clubs, I've always said to them, you need to get a club involved. It's too fucking hard doing it yourself. You need a backing of the club. I would never advise anybody to do it without the club. But I don't understand why clubs don't do it. Or don't help their fans even start it up, then let them go, because it's future fans. I mean, I'm saying 15 years, right? So some of your first kids, 13, they'll be 28.
Yep.
So how many season tickets in the past 10 years is that 28-year-old bought at Parkhead? How much money is that generated in 10 years at £600 a pop or whatever? Do you know what I mean?
As you say, you've 18,000 kids this year, 19,000 by the end of this season will have been there. You're not telling me guaranteed 1,000 of them are now Celtic diehards, right? And I would
say probably need a 10%, Jason, is a good estimate.
I would say 1,000 is definitely economical, right? But guaranteed, there's 1,000 of them now are Celtic diehards, and you're guaranteed some of them wouldn't have had the family that was bringing them to Celtic Park. You know, they didn't know it, and they've came there and get their eyes opened, and they've just been probably desperate to grow up and be part of that again. You know, and the Kano Foundation introduced them to that, because some of us were lucky that our dads and that took us to Celtic Park, but other people aren't that fortunate. Maybe they didn't come from a family with a Celtic background or even a football supporting background, that they would never get that opportunity as a young kid. And they've had that opportunity with the Kano Foundation, and it's definitely, it must have planted the seed with thousands of these kids, you know.
It must have. And that, if that 28-year-olds get two wains now, then
exactly.
The strips and the bed sheets and whatever they're buying out that shop.
Exactly. You know.
So I don't understand how more clubs don't do it. I can understand why clubs fans wouldn't take it on. But I think the other clubs should have some sort of a scheme. The only one I've ever heard of is Hibs. And the way Hibs do it is they choose a community centre. And they'll give a community centre 20 tickets for the season. But the following year it's a different community centre. Or a different youth club or whatever. So it's slightly different.
Other will do a load as well. They give out free tickets to schools and stuff like that.
Yes, I think most clubs do that, but there's no an organised kind of a scheme, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the only kind of, not to try and balance it up, but the only saving grace is that Celtic are still giving these £50 season tickets out at a time. You can't fucking get a ticket for love nor money, you know. So I guess a little bit of credit from that regard, which is keeping you guys going, Joe. And, you know, I've had my kids ticket for years, and plenty of others have done the same as well. And, you know, we heard about Tottenham this summer cancelling no more concession tickets for IOPs, for example, you know, I mean, which is a fucking disgrace for the money they got down there. So as long as that's keeping you going and that stays on, that's going to help you a lot, obviously, moving forward.
If we didn't have the £50 season tickets, it probably would tie up, because we just wouldn't be able to sustain it. Do you know what I mean?
If you went to £50, you're having to pay £500.
Even if I went to, even if I went to 150 for a kid's ticket or something, it'd still be a struggle for us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So see, sorry,
on, Jason. No, you carry on, mate. Carry on.
You go. I was going to go off track a wee bit. You go.
Cool. So Joe, obviously you've morphed the golf day from a local round in Glasgow to a worldwide event now, and you're getting yourself onto the hydro as well for the annual event. So what are the plans have you guys got in the pipeline? Anything else to kind of look out for?
Not at the moment. I think they're scared to turn up to meetings with me. I think.
What the fuck's he got to say now?
I think we had a boxing night a couple of years ago. That was absolutely brilliant with kids from Drogheda. Yeah. It was a boxing club now. I can't mind the name of the boxing club. With kids from Drogheda, but they were that good. They did it before world champions. So they did. So we had to get kids from all over Scotland to try and match them up. So we did. So we had that in the Kennedy. I might maybe try that again in the near future because that was a brilliant night. So it was the kids from Ireland loved it. Absolutely loved it. So they did.
Just last thing from me, Joe. Obviously, there's a process. Anyone that wants to actually take kids to the Kano, there's an application process that you can find on the website. I'm pretty sure you're going to be booked out for probably for this season and maybe into next season.
Certainly this season, and probably first couple of games of next season,
Yeah, but again, there is a process. So you go in the front door, you go onto the website, put in your details, and you can basically get yourselves in the queue there if there's something you want to avail yourself of.
So basically, the applications are closed for this season, but we still get them on Facebook and still whatever. If we can help, we try and help everybody. That's probably one of our problems. We try and help everybody we can and shuffle people about and whatever. But we get, it's not just groups, it's individual families. It's if you care homes, the young boys are in the home and doing well and get a wee incentive to keep behaving and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's all aspects of life. We get the applications in.
Because people don't think at times, Joe, that if they're a family, they can apply for it. Like, but here's their experience. Like, whenever they had the 14,000th kid, and I get to stand on the side of the pitch, get a photograph taken with him. It was me, him, and Stephen Welch. He was there with his man and dad and his brother, and they were a family. And they came with the Kano Foundation.
We get single mothers. Anytime my boy loves football and I'm not really into football, just bring along. Can I come as well? Just come as well, guy. You can come as well. You can experience it all as well. Do you know what I mean? So we get things like that quite a lot. So we do. Just people in hard times. You know what I mean?
And you know what? I think the football people don't really like. Even my eldest daughter, right? Like she's like, I don't want to watch football. And then about a Saturday Park, she goes, I can get into that. I was like, there you go. See. It's infectious, and it's not even just Celtic; it's just football.
Yes, we have. Fantastic. I think that Aberdeen game probably emphasised that because they had the Aberdeen kids in that front row loved football first and foremost. So they were wrapped up in that atmosphere. They weren't caring. They were sitting in the Celtic end. They were just having a ball. As soon as Aberdeen scored or got a corner, they were still cheering and whatever. Do you know what I mean? They were just at the football, as you say, Joe.
Aye, and see kids that love football. See when they see like professional athletes standing right in front of them. There's something about that. Like you can just see.
They've seen some brilliant. Seen the first half, the best seats in the fucking park. The first half. That's normally all I want is a goal for the Waynes. See if the Waynes get a goal, I'm delighted. I don't care about the score, as long as the Waynes get to cheer and see that ball hitting the net in front of them because it hooks them. The ball hits the net. That noise erupts round about them. That same hooked. So
that's 100%. That's 100% true. Now, Joe, you've touched on the relationship with the club a wee bit now in your chat. I mean, do you want to kind of expand on that a bit, like how that maybe is or affects operations?
It probably affects operations massively because we kind of feel we're always on our own basically, but. See if I could fix it, Joe, I would fix it. But I've tried to fix it. People say, go and talk to this one, go and talk to that. I can't talk to any higher than the guy who's running the show. Do you know what I mean? If I could, I've been saying the same thing for years and years. If I could fix it, I'd fix it. I've tried to fix it. I've came away. I used to always talk to Celtic, different people at Celtic, say Law Wells and PR people and whatever. So I stepped away thinking it was maybe me, maybe my attitude, maybe they don't like me. A couple of other people started having meetings that way with them. But ended up they just stopped having meetings or didn't get in touch with them or just treated him just as bad as they treated me. Do you know what I mean? So I honestly don't know what it is with the club, how they don't develop this, I've said for years, how they've not took it off and do it themselves is unbelievable. Unbelievable. They must be able to do this bigger and better than us. With the contacts and the money they've got and the sponsors they've got. Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand it.
And I suppose, some of us here know, suppose corporate and public sector sort of, concepts and structures. Again,
do we?
So, you've worked in corporate.
Going to help you.
Worked in corporate. I've worked in public sector. Marty's worked in public sector. Some of us understand the kind of landscape and the ecosystem that can exist now, right? And sometimes inaction is the greatest identifier of what somebody actually thinks.
Joe, to be honest, right? Jason and I work in similar places. This is not a public sector company. This is a company that's flush with money that can do anything they want. And it's completely funded and driven by their unique fan base. So they can do anything they want to do here, Sally, right? Anything they're not doing is through choice. So, it's a simple,
isn't there a corporate social responsibility emphasis on something like this? Is there not a CSR kind of corporate social responsibility? I mean, yes, you can take a box and plant fucking trees. That'll be your corporate social responsibility. But I mean,
you're thinking far too serious about this. I'm talking, don't get an email back. You don't get a reply to inquiry about tickets. You don't get a reply back to an inquiry for the raffle prizes and things like that. It's basic, simple stuff like that.
Again, it's non-engagement tells you where you stand.
No, took me 3.5 years to actually have a meeting with Michael Nicholson. 3.5 years. It's supposed to be last June. It got cancelled to July. Phoned up, cancelled it to the end of July. They phoned up and cancelled it and didn't rearrange it. I actually chinned him in the boardroom one time at Christmas. He's like, transfer Wendy. I'm like, and he's like, well, you need to speak to me. Get back to me in February. Get back to him in February. Got a meeting for March. Sat down. I'm going great with him. Talked away. Put everything down in an email. We'll get it sorted. And the club still thinks of this. Club thinks of that. Send everything away in an email. Nothing back. So how do you work with that? How do you approach that? After 15 years, I can't get an email back.
And see when you break it down, right? The Kano Foundation are one of the biggest supporters organisations that attend Celtic Park.
Yeah, we probably get more tickets. Well, certainly more tickets than the Green Brigades and the boys and things like that. But the stuff that you get done for them is fucking unbelievable.
I mean, you're right, and you're talking about supporters clubs. You'll have bigger supporters clubs out there, but they won't be taking 150 to every home game.
No,
do and it's like. So
I think there's one in Ireland. One in Ireland would run about the same number of tickets as us, but as you say, maybe they don't take them every week.
Aye, and it's like
the £50 ones. They might be £50 ones, but as we just said about that 28-year-old, take it to two Waynesmen now and spend a fucking fortune every Christmas in that shop.
Aye, that's it. I know. So one thing I was going to ask you on a wee bit of a lighter note, right? You're doing the Armadillo. It's going to take a hell of a lot of organising, but people might not know you've got a heavy-duty director on your on the Kano Foundation, albeit he's a funeral director. Is he ready to do it? The blessed Kevin.
Dr. Kevorkian.
we actually used to have two funeral directors on the fucking board.
Yeah, the thing is, Joe, them boys will be the last people to let you down.
Because I was thinking earlier on, he came to mind that I'm 19,000 junk engineers will be here when you fill the stadium. I don't think so. I'm trying to work out how many years it'd be until we get 60-odd thousand through the door. I don't know.
Going the rate we're going, it might not be that far.
All right. So see the way it's going, you're probably getting that must be happening maybe about 3 to 4 times a season. You're hitting that 1,000.
Yeah, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3.
Aye,
so as we hit that 1,000 mark, sort of thing. So even that day, the way that thousandth weighing, whatever thousand it is, they get treated a wee bit special. They'll get maybe we'll give them a cake or something. Then we'll give them a special scarf. There's only one of these scarves that will say, like Saturdays will say 18,000. So he's the only one with a bright yellow scarf saying 18,000 on it. He'll get a voucher, 50 quid voucher for JD or something. Do you know what I mean? We try and make him a wee bit special sort of thing. And he'll get him and tell his school and his youth club and his mum and dad. And, you know what I mean?
Brilliant. Superb, mate. It's so good. It always warms the cockles in my heart when the Kano Foundation is on talking about it.
It's all good. I mean, everybody always asks you about the club and all that, but it is all good, honestly. It still is good for us as well. As I said earlier on, you see the men's faces, everything, all the arguing, all the arsing about is fucking forgot about. Seeing a Saturday, everybody just pitches in, teams up and does what we got today. Aye, things go wrong, but 9 out of 10, the teachers and the lanes don't even know things have went wrong. Do you know what I mean? It's because somebody will just step up and think, well, that's not happening. They'll go and do it. Because we've been doing it so long, everybody just steps up to the mark and makes sure that everything goes well. Do you know we've got a new chairman? You were talking about a main man there, Jason. Do you know we've got a new chairman?
Oh.
Wow.
There you go.
This one.
Hold on, Joe. Is this a HomeBhoys exclusive?
Yes, this is a drum roll moment. Wait till you hear who our new chairman is.
Yeah.
Mr. Eddie Toner.
Yo! Oh, that's brilliant, mate. Really?
So how can things go wrong now, eh?
Hey, Toner's the chairman.
Hey, by the way, the fucking kids will be going out and strike you. Eddie will be leading the kids out the park line. We're not none of this out.
Children.
See if you see a mass exodus for the Kano section, you know what's happened.
Militancy's arrived. The Militant Kano Foundation.
Face scarf for everybody.
Well, that's brilliant news, mate. I'm delighted, didn't he? He never said that. It's absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted with that.
Is that not amazing?
I love Eddie, man. It's superb.
The main man.
Oh, that's brilliant.
The Don Toner.
Aye, superb. That's brilliant.
As I say, so if you guys like Eddie and that still coming on board, then we should have a bright future. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, brilliant.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. That's
100%.
great to hear.
The Celtic support will always look after you, Joe. And I'm a very proud Kano Foundation donor. It comes out of my bank account on the 1st of every month. And it's not a lot of money, but it makes a huge difference.
But it doesn't need a lot of money, doesn't it? No, it doesn't need to know. A fiver a month gets 21 wins to football. That's the easy way to look at it.
Yep, 100%. So look, as Jason was saying earlier on, get onto the Kano Foundation website. It takes 2 minutes to sign up, and it is not a lot of money. And the money goes into Celtic. Obviously, it's buying season tickets, and the kids get a great day out. But as we said earlier on, some of these children will never have an opportunity to go to a football match. If 25% of the kids who've gone through the Kano process in the last 15 years buy a season ticket, it will make Celtic multi-millions over the course of a lifetime. So it's a lifetime investment in the club. And I've been on the Kano trip twice. Once with a group of kids that won the Belfast Celtic Cup and the boys took us over, and once with my wee boy. And it's just a priceless day. I have to say, the crack in the church hall is always immense. Kev Moon is up singing and going ballistic and fucking all the rest of it. And the care that they get and the experience that they get, as Joe said, the food, they get a full feed before they go, so no child goes into Celtic Park hungry. They're all well looked after. They get a goodie bag with a scarf and all sorts of stuff, a free program. Joe mentioned just coming down through the wee estate. It's like a fucking Celtic conga. You want to see it? Like 100 and fucking nearly 200 kids, plus their minders are waiting their way down through these estates, singing Celtic songs and stuff. And they get treated royally. Then when they go in the back of the Lisbon land stand by the staff, and everybody knows them, and they watch for the Kano kids coming. And you'll see the day we were there, the ordinary Celtic fans lined up and clapped the kids into the Lisbon land stand, you know, and it's just like hairs in the back of your neck stuff. Absolutely wonderful, really, really good, you know. So get on the website and get your tickets bought for. Where do you get your Armadillo tickets, Joe?
It's the Armadillo website. So it is. So basically, you go on our pages. The link will be there. I'm sure we'll be putting the link out.
For people who have just joined, there might be some people who came late to the party here, just they're catching the end of the interview. So give the full details of when and what and where and all that, like you did at the start.
Right. Well, next year's the 15th anniversary of the Kano Foundation. So we're holding a massive night in the Armadillo, Saturday the 26th of April. We've got basically a music night. Music and comedy, I'll try to make it, but I've not got the comedy bit sorted yet. So we've got the Wakes, we've got Hot Whiskey, Irish folk band for Belfast, got Liam McGranvold, we've got
the piano girl,
David Dodds, we've got Emma Hale, the piano girl, we've got Carol Byrne, you know Carol Byrne, didn't you? Carol Byrne coming along. So we've got a wide range of music. So we'll have former players as well. Tickets, we've tried to keep them as cheap as we can. Tickets are 30 to 40 quid. So for about 7 different artists, former players, 30 to 40 quid, still a good night out. Basically, we've dropped our dinner dance this year, which we always have at Celtic Park or whatever. So we're not having that this year and having this big night in the Armadillo. So hopefully everybody can support us, buy people Christmas presents or whatever. If you're struggling to buy somebody a Christmas present, have a wee night out for 80 quid.
That's a good idea, I have to say. For a couple of stocking fillers there, Jovis.
Yeah, for 80 quid, you'll have a brilliant night of entertainment, honestly.
And I just want to tell people, none of this money will be going on Joe's next holiday. Not a penny. Not a fucking single penny will be going on.
Yeah, Marty, I'm just looking in the comments. Some bandpot called Scott McCrory's offered to be a compere on the night as well. So
Claiming the tables. Claiming the tables at the Armadillo.
The choice between McCrory, maybe the Dagger. Fucking who knows?
Can you imagine Scott arguing with 3,000 people at one time? He'd been fucking heaven, wouldn't he?
Joe,
Joe.
You want to seen Scott and Grace's? He ran around the fucking place like fucking Roadrunner.
Joe, in Scott's house, that's called Saturday. Come on.
I've seen him at pool in Vegas. He's fucking arguing with everybody that walks past.
Arguing with a pool.
What do you want?
Listen,
Joe.
Joe, we've taken a lot of your time, mate. Just one quick thing before you go. Obviously, important thing for us as well. Just give us an update on Big Brian and how he's keeping.
Big Brian's fantastic. He's back at work. I think it's 3 days a week or something. He's back driving. He's not too mobile. He's still got his crutches, but he's fantastic. He's fantastic. Our wee pal Teresa, she's still in her wheelchair. Teresa had a wee thing in her brain, so she had to go and get that cut out and that. So for the past year or so, Teresa's been in a wheelchair. So she's a wee bit.
If anybody's ever been to a Kano Foundation dance, you've met Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa's our wee fundraiser. So she is.
Yeah.
So she's still in a wheelchair, but that's Teresa getting back to the games now as well.
Yeah,
so
I was coming to her next show. I was down in the house not long ago, and you couldn't get out of there. I was there for half an hour. So she's brand new. She's fine. She's got all the chat still. She's looking amazing. So it's great to
She's just trying to get to as many games as she can now. So she's back at it now as well. So fingers crossed she'll be on her feet not too long.
Brilliant. Great. That's great news, Joe. And thanks for your time tonight, mate. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, lads. It's been a pleasure. See you all still mad as a brush right enough.
It never changes, Joe.
No, never.
Joe, make sure you come back on January or whatever and give us a wee update. And
yes.
Hopefully we sold out by then or whatever, but you can give us a wee update, and if there's any additions to the night or whatever, but we'll make sure we get you on in the new year, mate, to give everybody a wee update. That
would be superb. Thank you very much.
Brilliant, Joe.
Top class, Joe, buddy. Take it easy, buddy. Right.
Cheers. Thank you. See you later.
Bye-bye.
You go, folks. Nearly an hour. Not a ball kicked.
Actually,
not a ball kicked.
I feel sunburned.
You feel sunburned from Joe Mackin tan?
From the tan.
Do you know what? My blood pressure monitor's going off because the man's so attractive.
Kevin Gallagher saved the penalty. Go on, yeah, boy.
What's the score?
Still 1-0. Just Kevin Gallagher just saved the penalty.
How's the 6-a-sides going?
Well, Aberdeen and fucking Dundee United's on at the minute. It's 3-2. So I'll update you when
who was it? Who played the Rangers? Have they played Celtic yet? No.
I'm not sure. My TV went off there for a wee while. It's just come back on. So once the table comes up, I'll tell you where they are on the table.
Because we drew with Dundee United and they got a goal scored that was they didn't hear them it, and that ranking was Graffi's not, and then they drew with that mob, and then I don't know what happened after that. We were probably on, I don't know. So
Masters football has a weird appeal, doesn't it? Like,
we're out. Scott just says we're out.
We're out. There we go.
Hands are tap.
Come on, Ireland.
There you go. Fucking France are drawing nothing each of that Israel mob. 74 minutes gone. Fucking hell.
So where do we go from here then? Yes, we've only got one game to talk about.
Do you want this? Do you want the raffle stuff?
The raffle stuff, right? Enough,
we'll get to the football next time. Don't worry. And I think it was good to get Joe on. It's good to get an update on the Kano stuff. So I know it was a long chat, but that was good. Really good to hear from him. So yeah, so the raffle we launched a raffle. I think was it last week we were on again. We were on last time.
It was last week,
Yeah, so we kind of talked it. So we're doing it this year. We've talked about the fact we've got a little bit of funds left from last year. So we'll add them to whatever we can manage to raise this year. We put together the Just Giving link at the start of the week. I think, Joe, you've sent it out on the socials. It's been out for a day or two. We've managed to get £420 through the door already, which is absolutely incredible, really. That's a massive, massive start for us. So I think that's about 14 people who've donated, which averages about £30 a person, which is incredible. And look, £5, a pound off anyone is massive for us. So huge start for us. Thanks everyone for doing that. The Just Giving link is everywhere on our socials. If you're unsure, just give us a shout. We'll get that shared between you. We've tried to crib together our usual raffle prize list, and we know this is not the most important part of it. Thank fuck. Some of this list is true. Some of it's made up. Some of it will never appear. Right, so you can take for it.
It's all down to good faith, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just.
I mean, listen, we've got about, I'd say, 10 prizes over the past few years that no one's ever picked up.
Well, yeah, I have to say, in fairness, a lot of our listeners, donators, and winners are based overseas or based outside of Glasgow or Scotland. So a lot of prizes do get handed back in and not used. So some of this will sound familiar to you, but we'll give it a go anyway. And just
I'll tell you one thing.
Once more around the horn ratio.
Hey, the Versace bag gets picked up every year. You can guarantee that one.
Correct.
Right. It is in the safe clutches of one man.
Perfect segue. So we have hopefully not an orange Versace handbag this year from Handsome Marty. So I think at the minute we're putting it as a raffle prize. We might change that later on, but we'll see. So again, thanks to Marty, huge supporter of the show.
Who's been on the show and is one of the most handsome bastards I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely. Not just the most handsome Marty, but just handsome altogether. So good man. Thank you, Marty, again. The second one for all our golf aficionados out there, Ryder Cup 2023 limited edition, Ailey Craig official bourbon from Joe's sister.
Well, I'll say that in English, right? So it is a Elijah Craig smoked European barrel bourbon, right? So here's where I got this from, right? I was in Charlotte, North Carolina the other week. My sister, probably shouldn't say this, has a storage spot that I had to kind of go and help her with, and loads of kind of free gargles. So I was like, "Guess that one there, the Ryder Cup." And she goes, "That's very rare." I said, "Exactly. Guess that one. That's signed by somebody." And I got it back home in a second case, and it's sitting here now in this thing. It comes in a wee box, and it's like a once-off fucking European smoked barrel bourbon that I was able to taste as well at a bourbon dinner that I went to across the lake from Ric Flair's house. Woo! Right? Woo! Right? And I swear to God, it is like fucking, it's like drinking tasty water. It's unbelievable.
Who's saying that, Jason?
That's what I was going to say.
Some guy was paced.
You better check the value of that out then, because that could be another bonus ball thing we have to put on.
I tell you, it's a belter. I haven't opened it, but tell you what, see if we can turn the back. Wait.
Getting tanned.
Won't last long, huh? Fuck it.
Okay, so that's prize number 2 as we stand just now. Marty, before I make a balls of it, you can describe PJ's donation for number 3.
Yes, fair play to my old comrade PJ down there in Limerick. He has given us 2 Celtic cafes made in Nablus in Palestine. So the Celtic cafe was designed especially for Celtic fans. There's a whole explanation as to where it comes from, and all that comes with the cafe. So keep a wee eye out. I've sent Liam the pictures. You'll see them on our social media and all as we go, but they're absolutely beautiful. Kneecap were wearing them recently. They're green and white, and as I say, hand made on the looms in Nablus. We had been selling them, so I sold I think I sold a couple of hundred just myself. Instead of offering the Palestinians charity, which is always, I suppose, very welcome, we took the decision not to do that. We took the decision to sell products that would be keeping people in jobs. So the guy who runs the factory in Nablus basically feeds half the town and keeps his staff members in employment at a time when their economy has been destroyed by Israel. So these 2 are given to us for complimentary, and as part of the ballot. So as I say, they're absolutely beautiful. I was wearing one at Celtic Park a few weeks ago, and lots of people were coming over and asking me about them and that sort of thing. So the first and second batches all sold out. These are the last 2 left. So very pleased to be able to offer them to the listeners of the HomeBhoys.
Yeah, my coffee comes from the same spot, Marty, and the quality is,
they're beautiful. It's like a silk scarf. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's incredible.
Brilliant.
People, I went into the Celt bar on Talbot Street, and 2 girls behind the bar went, 2 sisters from Derry, said, "Where'd you get that?" I said, "It came from a mate of mine." I said, "Fucking sent it to me." And she goes, "We've been trying to get our dad one of those for fucking years."
That's what I'm saying. And these ones here, they're sold out now. So the next batch, there's been no other batch done since. So they're the last 2 of the batch. So we're very proud to be able to offer them up as prizes. Get your fucking tickets bought, lads.
Brilliant. Thanks, Marty. That's obviously really important to us on the show. Are they going to separate prizes all together?
No, we'll give one each.
Oh, one each.
One each. Perfect. Okay, Joe, can you pop the link for this the donation?
I'm doing that right now. I mean, I'll put it in the hang there. Wait 1 second.
You're right now, my balls. It sounds like you're drinking that bourbon, you fucking balloon.
No, my mouse has gone mental. That sounds like euphemism, but it's not.
Smoke raising from his mouse there.
Cool. Okay, so the next got the prizes. So good friend of the show, Bob, who runs the Social Recluse Paninaro shop in town. I can't remember the name of the street, down in the Trongate area. He's going to give us a Maradona frame print and a Celtic frame print as prizes. So super generous. Yeah, super generous from Bob. The guy does a lot of work, out in the communities as well, doing lots of really good things, which we'll share on a future show as well. So huge thanks to Bob for his donation. Next prize is 2 Club Celtic lounge tickets for the St Mirren game on Sunday, the 5th of January, from myself and Mick and Craig, our annual donation to the cause. So you'll be able to get in, come down, get into the lounge, get a programme, get a pie at half time, get a few pints of overpriced lager, cider, Guinness, whatever your choice of drink is.
Free pie.
Free pie, mate, for as many as you want. Joe's got
free pie.
5 still, half time.
Stack the fuck up is what I say.
If you're very lucky, Jason might stagger past you and buy you a Guinness while you're in there. So Sunday, the 5th of January, St Mirren, two tickets next to each other as a prize for people. Next prize, Joseph, your adult and child ticket in next to the boys for a game to be confirmed after Christmas. So whoever wins that, we'll try and do our best to accommodate you for a game. Jason's jumped off since I've suggested he might buy someone a pint of Guinness in the lane, so I'm not sure.
He's fuck us.
He won't buy you a pint, but he'll stay in your glass.
That's it. He's going to claim non-receipt of this. Okay, so we're on to the next prize 8. So a bottle of Bushmills Irish whiskey, which I donated last year, and somebody won last year, but nobody ever got around to telling me who it was or how to get it to them. So it's back in the pot this year. So if you won it last year, apologies. You might win it this year if you put some money into the donation again.
I think I know who won it, but he just didn't want it.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly. Good luck. You might win it again if you put a good enough donation in.
Hey, Marty, I think it was Con.
Fuck here. You talk about smoke. Holy fuck.
I think he won the golf as well and never claimed that either. So fuck knows.
He won an IP.
So the next one is a match ticket voucher, Joe. I think you said from the Kano Foundation.
It was a family of 4.
That's
a 4 to a game.
Fucking outstanding praise. That's outstanding.
Yeah. So we've been eulogising.
That's 2 adults, 2 kids. Not like fucking 2 adults, 4 kids. I mean.
Yeah. So best of luck, anyone winning that. The next one is obviously our most inspirational prize. It's a signed Joe Higgins snooker cue. Next year it could be the signed.
Do you know what? That's worth more than anything. I think on the
hold on. At least we're being honest. You know what I mean? Fuck you.
Next year it could be the signed Ellie or Rory Higgins cue.
Signed by the key worker. Fuck shit.
It'll be a David Harper saying baseball bat for fuck's sake next year.
So as we know the Huns are coming. Well, John Higgins snooker cue is coming as well, so we can put them in the same.
Exactly. As I've said before, we could build two sustainable homes out of the amount of fucking John Higgins cues we've given away over the past fucking 14 years doing this podcast.
It's our elusive prize. One day someone will win it. One day. Okay, again, another massive supporter of the show, David McLaughlin, is putting on a Celtic tour for a family of 4.
Is he doing it? Is he doing the tour?
Well, no, he's also putting a booby prize in of the same prize, but he's going to do the tour for them. So, unfortunate if you win that one, obviously. But tour of 4, family of 4.
You be 10 minutes behind the ones that win the first prize.
No, the first. Hold on. No, the first praise is 2 hours with Davey, and the second praise is 4 hours with Davey.
There, by the way, Davey, we love you, but we know you love that.
But
we do. We love all our prize sponsors and givers. So thank you everyone for looking after us. Prize number 12 is a Club 67 lounge ticket for use at 2 different league games. So that's one of our comrades of the show, Lazio and Millwall's top by Adelante. So he's going to put his ticket forward for 2 separate games next year. Again, to be arranged once the prize has been won by somebody. The next one is still to be confirmed, but hoping that Dave and Siobhan, who supported us every year at the Admiral Woods on Waterloo Street, will be putting forward a £50 food and drinks voucher. Another big friend of the show, Mark from the Thornwood Bar down in Partick, he's going to put a prize forward for us. I think he put 3 rums together last year, 3 bottles of rum. He's going to confirm to what he's going to put forward, but again, he's committed to giving us a prize. And finally, as we stand just now, we've got 3 12-month subscriptions for the people who've got their own Fire Sticks for the IPTV from our favourite partner in that regard as well, Dell. So a massive start in terms of prizes already, a good start in terms of donations. So everything's looking good, and hopefully we can raise plenty of money. What I'm going to do for the next show is I'm just going to kind of recap on what we did last year with the money and who we helped without naming names, and just kind of give you a flavour for what we did with the money last year and what sort of influence we managed to have with people and help people out. So we'll share that on the next show and see what we're going to do moving forward for this year.
Yep. Get their money in, folks.
Yep. Give us your money. Not like a Bob Geldof way. Give us your money so I can take some of it too. But like fucking in a way, we want to be the conduit for just good feeling. Really? Isn't that it? Like that's kind of where we come from at our core on this. Like we want to be people that like anonymously go, somebody gives a fuck. Somebody gives a fuck. It's a poor slogan to put on a t-shirt. You know what I mean? But it is like the idea is like somebody gives a fuck.
I think, Joe, if you told 2 or 3 stories from last year's fundraising or the year before without naming names, I think it would go a long way to making people really pleased about where their money's going and what it's doing. You've been close to it, Marty's been close to it, Jason as well, and not me myself, but you could tell some stories without including the names, and it's incredible stuff that you've been able to do with that money. But that's all down to the listeners and what people have put in for us.
It's interesting because I've actually got a not a meeting, a kind of a coffee sort of fucking conversation next week with one of the people in the services that I deal with, like, well, the main person that I deal with that I trust, who's kind of one of the heads of the kind of, suppose, supportive services, the family services that I deal with next week, and she's the one, like, she doesn't really tell me who it is or what it is. She just goes, this is what's needed, and this is why it's needed, and I go, no problem. Because I know the depth of her work and who she is, I can get the feedback. Like I've had the feedback, and some of it's very, very positive. But again, there's a lot to these things. You know what I mean? And it's, you know what? Here's the thing people don't realize when we kind of do this is, like, we have to interface with a lot of very, I suppose, vulnerable people in situations that maybe some people who listen to this podcast probably couldn't comprehend, or, you know, or will ever have to face. So some of the stories we've got to kind of, I'm not saying per us, but some of the stuff we kind of hear and speak about and engage with. I mean, it can be difficult to kind of handle in terms of emotionally. I mean, but we all know this, having spoken to each other on the chat, that some of the stories, like, that you're kind of involved in assisting through this are, they're very, very difficult. You know,
I think it's good sometimes just to tell the story of where people are at that point in time when you're giving them the help, you know, and what difference that makes to them even for a short period of time. And like I say, you, Marty, and Jason have been, you know, close, Harper as well, close to that. So, you know, just bring that to life a little bit next time for people.
Yeah.
We'll do that in the next show.
100%.
Okay, better talk some football at some point.
Right, so now we're an hour and 7 minutes in, and we haven't, again, not a ball kicked. I kind of didn't see an awful lot of the game at the weekend, so I'm not the guy to ask. But again, two of you were there. I was kind of watching the day unfold in the chat to some degree between you Jabo, you Liam, and Scott. Was there a trifecta of Swally going on, or was there like a ticket thing?
I was pretty sober, mate. I was I just went down on the bus, took it easy. Jason had an early start. Scott, I didn't see Scott. Jason saw Scott. Jason, you back on again now? You hearing us?
I'm back on. Yeah. I'm went peaked on.
You had a much more exciting day than me, mate. Do you want to just give a bit of background? Your start.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what Archer's for. What the fuck? you and your super Wesley and Power. Fuck off.
Exactly.
So, first of all, a big massive shout out to the Irvine Celtic Supporters Club. What a club, man. And do you know what? I was absolutely amazed. We were the only supporters bus in there. So we left at 10 a.m. We were in there for 11. And it was brilliant, man. What a club. It's beautiful inside. Massive. And the football and the Sheffield Derby was on before it. So it was nice to see the Blades get a win as well against Wednesday. So we were down there and just a ton of pints. The bus wasn't full, but it was nearly full. And we had a great day. And Ellie came as well. Me and Mick, one of his boys. And we had a brilliant day. Down to there, Irvine Club. And then I think we left there. Might have been about 2 o'clock-ish, 1:45 or whatever. Back on the bus and then up to Kilmarnock. I think it was only a 15-20 minute drive. And then met Liam, had a ticket for him, and Liam and Zoe, and we get in the game. And I ended up standing with Liam and Zoe at the game, me and Ellie. And it was tough. It was kind of wasn't a great watch for a Celtic point of view for loads of the game. And Kilmarnock well, they can cover them in silence. I wasn't in by that time, so I didn't see any. So the whatever, but that is what it is. And you've got to say the shit that's going on in the world and all that, and people are fucking moaning about a minute silence about consequent fucking. I mean, if it was First World War and Second World War, I'd have a poppy on all the time. You know?
And here's the thing is too, Jason, there was lots and lots of shit talked about IRA songs being sung during
nonsense.
Rubbish, lies and fucking keep. It was Aidan McInnesby that was sung. not an IRA song, and fair play to every single Celtic fan that raised their voice.
Yes.
Aye, so it's each to their own, you know. That's just up to every individual what they want to do. As I say, I wasn't there when it happened. So, but onto the game, and I thought we started all right. Obviously, we played Ida up front. Didn't risk Carter Vickers, and it was a funny game. But there was a good 25, 30 minute spell that we couldn't get out of our box, and Casper Schmeichel made some cracking saves. But all in all, with that surface, and it was like, I don't know how to put it. It was a hard dugout win, and probably Kilmarnock maybe deserved something for the game, but they just couldn't put the ball in the net. And I thought they played really well, but no want to moan about the park, but it's a fucking joke. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bloody disgrace. And there's been a lot of talk on Clyde and stuff like that. I've been listening to about watching Toffee, and they did mention about these like 4G parks that Kilmarnock's had there for years, and so is Livingston, and they're kind of at the end of their tether. So, if you're having a plastic park, make sure you've got the latest one. But that park's a fucking joke. But anyway,
See, even training kids. I had kids tonight, right? Because obviously I'm doing kids training now, right? See, even kids training on like the AstroTurf, right? In the fucking wet or whatever, they fucking hate it, right? And they get hurt more often than that, right? That's kids. Like, they're fucking quite malleable physically. They talk about professional athletes playing on a pitch like that. It's ridiculous.
Well, they're actually saying that it doesn't give you more injuries and stuff like that. And your man, the boy that used to play with Livingston and Hibs, he says that to start with it was tough, but he says after that he get more kind of leggy in that on grass parks once you get used to it. But I don't know about the actual injury stuff, but at the end of the day, it was a hard-fought win, a couple of good goals, and it was get the win up the road. But there wasn't really that much to kind of talk about from a football standpoint. I've not really got kind of much to add. Kuhn is just different class, and he's been unbelievable this season, and he's incredible. I can't believe that that's the same guy that we watched last season. Obviously, he had his illness with his teeth and stuff like that, so I've obviously set him back, but just incredible performance. Thought McGregor was good, but the rest of the team, I don't know. I don't think Big Ida, I know it worked well at the end of last season, but I thought McKeogo come on. It was a lot better, but delighted with the 3 points, the 2-goal win, clean sheet, and just happy enough. And obviously, we're into our shitty international break that everyone else could see the back of, I suppose. But not really that much to add. Liam, you could maybe have too many pints in me that I wasn't taking it in.
Well, I was delighted to see that after the slagging you gave me at Hampden after my early start. So it was brilliant to be the sober one this time. So that was good.
Aye.
So yeah, just pretty uneventful morning of the game for me. Got down there, like I said, delighted to get a ticket for Zoe. So got her in there, and her last visit was when we lost 2-1 last season in the league, which was one of the most miserable occasions down there, both in the weather and the way we played on the pitch as well. Obviously, the game was always going to be overshadowed by the Poppy fiasco that we have to go through every year. And to be honest, on both sides of the fence, it's just boring as fuck, man. It does my head in every year, and it totally takes the shine off the game. And it's just, you just want to get it over with and get on there, get on with it. Jason, you and I stood in the concourse. I've done that every time there's been a silence I don't want to take part in or I don't agree with. But I take your point on board. For me, I'm not big on I'm not big on disrupting or arguing against.
I'm the same.
disrupting silences. And personally, I think, Celtic fans have stood outside before until it's been done outside the ground altogether. I think maybe putting banners up, and acknowledging people from Derry, Ballymurphy, Gaza, whatever, would have been a much better, more poignant way of doing it. But again, it's just my personal opinion. I've got no issue with what anybody else has chose to do for their, the way they want to deal with it or whatever. But it just kind of overshadows the day, and it's a pain in the hole every year. So it is what it is. People will do what they do. But I loved when the Queen died and we had the whole "Did you hate the royal family? Clap your hands." I thought that was really clever the way we did that time. So different ways of doing it, but people will choose what they want to do. I've got no issue either way. Just my own personal preference. The game itself, I thought it was our toughest domestic game we've had all season. I thought it was a real challenge for us. Pretty obvious replacements. I think Carter Vickers was never going to play on that surface. Adam Eder was probably always going to come in, especially based on how good he was in the title winning game last year. I thought he was really poor all game. Eder, he's not done too bad, but he's not really got anywhere near the levels of last year since he's come on permanently this year. But that might just be due to lack of opportunities, lack of game time. I'm not too sure, but he didn't really give us that kind of outball that we were looking for. And Kilmarnock I thought Kilmarnock were really good. I think I said on this show when I watched Kilmarnock beat Rangers a few weeks back, it's probably the worst game of professional football I've seen at that level before. It was atrocious. And Kilmarnock were as bad as Rangers that day, but managed to win the game. They were like 20 times better against us on Sunday. And physically, they gave us an absolute battering. But I think Celtic did themselves really proud. The fact they embraced that physical challenge and actually stood up to it and won that physical challenge, as well as gave themselves an opportunity to play their football on the day itself. So really sticky game. Celtic had some decent chances. Kilmarnock had some really big chances the first half that they should have put away, and then McGregor just puts that cross in. Either, given the fact that Eder's playing rather than Kyogo, probably creates the distraction in the defence for that goal that allows the ball to travel through. So that gives us a massive boost just before half time. And then again, second half, backs to the wall. And Kuhn, who's just absolutely on fire this season. When the ball was launched over to him, it was kind of like, you think, nothing really obvious that what he was going to do there, but a burst of speed, cuts inside, puts the ball away, tremendous finish. And I was delighted. I would have been delighted to get out of there with 1-0 with an own goal, to be honest with you. I thought it was a really difficult game for us. With everything else going in the background and the back of the games we've had previously. So to get out there with 2-0 on the clean sheet, I think is huge credit to the team. And Zoe was saying at the game, it just looked like, I don't know what on the TV for you guys, but 9 or 10 of their players were like 6'2". They were fucking massive. Every single one of them seemed to be massive. And then every time they subbed someone off, they brought an even bigger player on. You're like, fuck me, man. How you meant to deal with all this? But the team were exceptional from the physical perspective in terms of what they did. And I thought Kasper Schmeichel gave the sort of performance I've been talking about all season. I think Joe Hart was amazing for us, but Schmeichel's another level above in terms of his agility, his use of the ball, the way he was just chipping it into Kyogo second half when they went man for man with us, that they've done many, many times before and caused us big problems. So I thought the team did really well to stand up to it. And, apart from really Dortmund and the second half against Aberdeen, it's been an absolutely exceptional start to the season right up until this international break. So absolutely buzzing at the end of the game to get through and get out with that win. And we got a lot of tricky fixtures coming up as well up until Christmas. So hopefully the most of the players get a break and we can just go again once we're back away to Hearts on a Saturday night, which will be even as bad as they are just now, will be a difficult game for us.
Yeah, totally. Aye. Wouldn't disagree with it. I didn't think either was up too much myself, but it was, Kuhn, different class, and I did think when Kyogo come on, it gave us a lot more balance. I thought we finished the game okay, but there was that spell, half an hour, we were just fucking all over the place. They were just absolutely battering us. But we stood up to it. They didn't get a goal, come back with a clean sheet, but I'd agree with that. Definitely the hardest game that we've had this season, without a doubt.
I thought so. I mean, I know Aberdeen drew with us, but I didn't think Aberdeen played that great that day. Right?
No.
They scored one really good goal and one fortuitous goal, but it didn't really dominate us massively. But you know, that
obviously they went 3-2 up, but it was a handball. It was offside or whatever. But they did play well, but that was much more difficult, that game. I mean, we were kind of hanging on at bits there, and fair play to them, you know, but it wasn't enough to get the job done, and that's what it's all about. And can't complain. You know, after the back of two of the best performances I've ever seen in a Celtic team, you know, and then you'll take that all day long. And then we get back to the pub and watch the last fucking 25, half an hour of the Dirty Dozen. Fuck's sake, man. They couldn't get out their own half. Hearts were penning them in. Fucking corner after corner after. You know, I was like, what's going on here at home? But they don't look up too much. But a great day. I had a brilliant day. Aim for a roast dinner, and then all good. Just looking forward to coming back again.
Absolutely. And Joe, Marty, what was the view on the TV? What was the crack?
I thought it was a tough enough game. Do you know what I mean? I always say it, like we're not duty bound to win any of these games. We have to work for them, and we have to, put the effort in and stuff. And there's always that hangover from the Champions League. Like think about it. Like after that match, the players mustn't have slept. Do you know what I mean? You're probably not getting home maybe 2 a.m. and whatever else. So there's always like a fucking sort of an old lingering hangover after those matches. So it's one of the worst grounds for us to go to. We lost there twice last year. You know, I never really thought at any stage we were on our uppers, if you know what I mean. I always thought we'd be all right, and so it proved, you know. So, nobody really played well, but you can't really say anybody was a fucking disaster either, can you? Like, there was no real, awful performances. It was just one of those games. They're the ones totally forgettable. Like, nobody will not be sitting analysing this game in the fucking future. But I'll tell you what, they're the fucking games that win you leagues. The ones that you get the fucking work done and you go home. You know, and we're getting into the international break here. We're ready. You know, we've had such a serious run of matches, and we have another serious run of matches coming, and we're all already starting to get kind of drip feed in from the transfer window about players that we're looking at and stuff. So I'm hoping that I know there's a bullshit festival in the transfer window, but actually I'm hoping that the transfer window keeps players on their toes when they come back from the international break, because everybody's pumping, and if we're going to be adding to the squad, then you want that to be a marker to say you need to fucking keep this up to keep your place, you know, to keep the competitive edge in the squad. So look, it is what it is. It's done and dusted. Move on, you know, and go by. And the rage of Derek McGuinness after was pretty nice.
That was
really
the champagne, wasn't it? I mean, see the game. The game was like, do you ever have one of them shitty Wednesdays? You're going like, fuck this place. This is fucking grim. I just got to get through this. Daniel Bedingfield, Wednesdays.
Nice.
And then get to Thursday, be all right. That's what it felt like. It felt like a fucking beige Wednesday. You go like this.
Some of our fans as well too, like, give McGuinness a bye ball. Oh, he's good.
Fuck him.
Well, exactly. And whenever the Donald Finlay trial happened, remember that the reports were come out of the court that Derek McGuinness was one of the ones who was singing anti-Catholic songs in the dressing room of the Abrax, you know.
Just that boyness. That's all it was.
That's, you know what I mean? So he's on there screaming and fucking shouting about our fans, and Celtic fans even dictate the minute silence and all. Get my fucking headpiece, will you? Your team, put your team out to win. They're dirty bastards as well. Absolute fucking.
There was some hatchet incidents.
Marty, go and say that again. I just love how Belfast folks say dirty bastards.
Listen, what Derek McGuinness put on the pitch was an absolute shower of dirty bastards. That's what they were. Dirty batting rastards. Every fucking one. But do you know what I mean? I have no problem with physical football, but you know, if it's physical, like we saw it with the women's team last night, you know, you saw how physical Chelsea were, but they were playing football with it. Do you know what I mean? But see, just going out the boot and foul, and you know what I mean. It rarely works. You know, it's a Scottish trait, but it rarely works. Usually, the team that's playing football wins anyway. You know, and as I say, we weren't playing at our best. It's on that shitty pitch. Key players missing, like Carter Vickers. You know, and you know, at no stage were we kind of setting the heather on fire at all. But at no stage either we were going, oh well, this is going to end up in the fucking calamity here. It was just sort of a business like day, and everybody got through it. Nobody really came through it kind of unscathed, and that's really all you're looking for.
Do you know what, Marty? Like, his team are a disgrace to watch, right? They're hacking bastards, right? And it's all physical with them, and we know what he is, and we know who he is, but he gives it them plenty as well, right? He's beat them plenty of times as well, so I don't mind him too much. Do you know what I mean? I think he gets stuck in against both of them, and he's given them a sore nose plenty of times. You know, most recently a few weeks ago.
Thing is, though, but we're on a different level from them, though. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's like a zero sum nearly. He could come out. So it's a free hit for him. If he loses, he loses. But if he comes out and his team actually show something and put some sort of pattern of play together and whatever,
he had one option, Marty. One option, and that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but don't forget they did that twice to us last year and beat us twice, right?
We'll
move on then.
But that's not the norm. You know what I mean? It isn't. Like, the norm is that the team with a bit more ability wins, no matter what the setup is against you. You know, and there's people linking Derek McGuinness with the Rangers job. I'd be fucking delighted if he got the Rangers job.
Listen, we all would. Look, we all would. But I think we've all missed the fucking elephant in the room here. The pitch is a fucking absolute disgrace, man.
I mean,
absolute disgrace.
There's a court case coming up where Falkirk and Hamilton and all those other clubs in Livingston are doing like a class action against the SFA or against the SPFL to change the rules. You know, they're saying that they're basically being discriminated against, and I actually get their point. You know, they do make money off their pitch. They can train on their pitch, so they're not playing for, you know, training facilities. I was listening to one of the radio shows yesterday, the day before, and they were actually saying that Falkirk have a better pitch than Kilmarnock.
That was the bit I listened to, because it says Kilmarnock and Livingston's are ancient. Falkirk's got a new one, and it's really good.
4G.
Yeah. So, you know, and look, Scott's the pitch expert here. I have no idea whatsoever. But I mean, it's just, and it is an advantage. I think that it's an advantage that Kilmarnock. There was some stat about they rarely lose at home. You know, the rarely.
No, the guy mentioned that. See, last season, I think they played 13 home games, won 11 and drew 2, and then they lost 11 away.
Do you know what I mean? So it does give them a competitive advantage. You know, so I don't know.
Totally. You train on the pitch and you play on the pitch. You know, you know the way the ball bounces. You know, it's totally it's kind of falsifying football. Because football's meant to be played in grass.
And it doesn't give you any incentive, Jason, to play decent players either. There's much more of an incentive to put a load of hacking cloggers on, because nobody's playing fucking football anyway. Do you know what I mean?
See, slightly off topic. Sorry, Liam, for jumping in. Can you mind QPR? And I think it was Oldham Athletic got plastic pitches in. This was before the 4G hit.
Luton was going to say, Luton was the other one as well.
I think QPR may have been the first, maybe.
QPR did, they had it too.
And fucking hell, the ball was bouncing at fucking 12 feet in the air. You know? It was fucking incredible.
Terrible. Football, but not as we know it.
But it makes you think you like the American fucking indoor league that Linda's uncle played in. It was kind of stuff like that, you know. Fucking, it's not right. It shouldn't happen, but it does. And I get the financial aspect for clubs, but if you're playing in Scotland's top flight and we want to be regarded as a fucking progressive football nation, you know, and to make inroads in Europe, etc., blah blah blah. Fucking, you need to have a grass park. It should be the rule. The SPFL, if they've went with it and they need to stick with it, that you must have a grass park, a functional grass park to play in the top league. And if you haven't it, then you don't come up for promotion. I've said years ago. I mean, the same shit about away fans and all. There should be prerequisites before you get into the top league in Scotland. And if you can't fulfil them, then you don't get in.
That's part of it. That's what they're saying. So they have made that rule now. All the pitches have
exactly.
But but that's going to be delayed now because these clubs are taking court action.
Aye.
You know what I mean? What the fuck? Like, they'd be better off buying a wee patch of ground somewhere close to their pitch and fucking practicing on that and training on that. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure that's not beyond the realms of fucking possibility.
I think that was their point as well, to build a training facility alongside getting the park grassed, would cost a fortune to these clubs.
But here's the thing, Jason. Hibs have done it. Hibs have built their own fucking facility. So yet again, it's an advantage to. Do you know what I mean?
You do things right, and you're getting penalised. Do you know what I mean? Because and see the other point, right? They built fucking offices. They'd a stand there that us and that mob would fill it fucking 4 times a season if they get into the top 6. That would pay for the fucking park.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? These clubs choose to have half-empty stadiums. These clubs choose. I mean, fucking Hearts, right? They give us we've got 500 odd tickets for their next Saturday night. They train at fucking. I think they had to buy it off it. They train at Edinburgh University. See, I was listening to some podcast that they actually had to buy it off Edinburgh University, but they didn't have their own training park. They were training in a fucking university campus.
And that's what I'd be saying. Do you know what I'd be saying? Listen, you can take your fucking court cases all you want, but bottom line is, we should sue you.
Aye.
And we should sue these other clubs who are making fortunes on their fucking training ground because we play by the rules and you fucking didn't.
Aye. The clubs, they're Motherwell. Fucking, they're not a rich club. They've got a perfectly good grass park. And it's no fair to clubs like that when you've got other clubs that's playing with plastic parks that's fucking creaming it and training on it, and everything there, renting it out and whatever they're doing, fucking playing 5-a-sides on it and stuff like that during the week, whatever they're doing. But it's not right. If you're playing in top league football, you should not be allowed to play in fucking plastic parks. It just isn't right.
No.
And if you can't afford it, then fucking get out of the kitchen.
No arguments there, dude.
Is it correct they've delayed it for a season as well? Did I read that somewhere?
This is my point, because they're taking a court case, it's going to be knocked back another year to allow the court case go through the courts. Do you know what I mean? So that means if Kilmarnock don't get relegated, you have another load of matches on that fucking same pitch now for 2 seasons.
And the thing is, obviously the end of last season, we proved we can play fucking top football on it, but that's the only game I can remember we've played really well there since Neil Lennon's first title win. I don't even know whether it was plastic then. I think it was.
I know it was. It's been plastic for years.
Yeah.
And you go to Livingston as well. We've played a handful of good games there. You're lucky, Just we don't play well in these parks,
No.
And then you've got your best defender that you're resting him because you don't want to risk him on that surface, So you're going there, resting probably the most important player in your team, because you don't want to risk him for injuries, etc. But it's just wrong in all fucking levels, and it's laughable that you want to be looked at as a top football nation and you're fucking running about in plastic parks. And I can understand teams in the north of Norway that's fucking nearly the Arctic Circle and stuff like that. You get that. It's probably the only way they can play football. But weather-wise, here, I get the weather's shit in Scotland, but you can still play in grass parks,
That's it. So anything else? The winter national break's on, so...
Well, there was something...
now I've covered the gardening section. Fucking, what else is left?
Well, I think this one, fucking Percy Thrower segment. Right, we should introduce that, Joe, every week, the Percy Thrower segment. Get the Beach Grove Garden fucking theme tune.
How's the firm, Percy?
This week, Joe Mackin, next week, Dermot Gavin.
HomeBhoys Community Garden.
This is no fucking joke, right? I was driving home from fucking work one day, but fucking 10 years ago. I was driving to my ma's. I swear to fuck, I drove up our street. There's a crossroads, and I drove up the crossroads and turned right to go to my ma's house, and there was a guy standing fucking facing me, right on the road on the fucking footpath, And I'm looking at the cunt because I'm fucking blind, as you know, even my glasses, I'm blind. And I'm looking at the cunt and I'm going, I fucking know him from somewhere. Who the fuck is this? Curly hair, big guy. Do you know who it was? Fucking David Bellamy. The actual real David Bellamy.
What?
I swear to fuck in St. James's. I'm going, that's fucking David Bellamy.
Marty.
It's a lovely colour.
Marty, you're an interesting species, Marty.
In St. James's, beside Marty's house. I fucking thought I was hallucinating. I stuck my head out the window and I went, what's happening, Davey? And he went, all right. And he put his hand up to me, all right. So anyway, it fucking turned out that a couple of outlaws down our way had done like bird boxes or something out their back. And he came down to see it. And I thought I was fucking hallucinating. So
what I'm taking from this story is, Marty, that David Bellamy was in St. James's inspecting some birds' boxes.
And probably not for the first time.
That's all I heard, man. David Bellamy to St. James's infiltrating bird boxes.
Kicking in some back doors. Jesus.
Folks, you know what? We should fucking wrap it. Fuck that. It doesn't get better than that, does it? Like, fuck me. Oh,
no, I think there's something we need to discuss. Obviously, we've kind of.
What is that?
The Zionist media for last week.
Oh,
fucking hell! Can you actually try and explain what happened there? I don't know. I'll need to share it, but Al Jazeera's done a podcast on it. I listened to it last night, and there was a Jewish guy from Amsterdam on it as well, and it was brilliant. You know, they just ripped it to shreds, and you were just struggling to fucking see what you were watching and see what you were reading, and just absolutely incredible. A gang of fucking Israeli football hooligans descend on Amsterdam, cause havoc, and the next thing it's fucking reported across the world with Joe Biden and all that, sending messages about anti-Semitism in the streets of Amsterdam that needs to be fucking outed. You're like, what the fuck are they talking about? They've went there and ripped down Palestinian flags, attacked taxi drivers, attacked local Arabs, and then wonder why they get a fucking backlash.
They're fucking animals.
But Jason, what you've explained there is the logical mind. The pragmatic and practical mind of a person that would see what happened and hear about what happened and think, well, that makes sense. If you turn up at a fucking foreign city as a football hooligan and do football hooligan things, you're going to get huckled by other football hooligans or fucking generally people who you try to attack, because that's how reciprocal violence works in regular day-to-day life, right?
Do you know what the funny thing is too? See if you saw like some of those hooligan sites and all, the Facebook pages have put up, no, this is what happened, blah blah blah. They were absolutely fucking scalding on it. Every hooligan group was going, they're fucking pussies, crying in the streets, shouting free Palestine. They were slaughtered. So Maccabi Tel Aviv now can never go. Like their fucking status as hooligans is now finished. They were just fucking being pilloried by every single.
I know, Marty, but I think the point Jason's making is like, how the fuck can you stake that as an anti-Semitic fucking spear in the ground, going like, well, here's another reason why the fucking Jews are allowed to fucking kill a Palestinian. That's essentially what it was. Essentially, it was like going like, here, by the way, this is happening as well, and they go like, no, but it's not. But it's not happening, and we know it's not happening. But here's the thing: when it goes around the world in the news cycle, it goes around the world in the media cycle. It doesn't matter what we know, what we think. It matters how it's portrayed. And again, the further and further around it goes in the candy cotton fucking sphere of media, the thinner the fucking truth gets. And that's how it's portrayed.
I think it just shows the influence in the media that Israel's got, but in a negative way. Do you know what I mean? Because that story's gone from A to Z in hours, And the further it gets, the more laughable it becomes. Do you know what I mean? And all these prominent people are willing to stand behind it and promote it. And you're like, fucking hell, it's got holes like a sieve all the way through it. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's a good way of fucking showing up the level of support they've got, irrespective of the truth. And then you see what it is for what it is when it's complete bullshit that's out there.
And Israel sending 2 planes over to evacuate their citizens and all that. What bullshit. Fucking absolutely nothing like that happened. And I mean, excuse me, BBC, I listened to when I'm out of the park with the dog, the BBC World News podcast. They had 15 minutes on it at the start, the headline of their show, 15 minutes on about the disgraceful treatment of Israeli citizens in Amsterdam and how horrific it was, interviewing people, the full works, they went overboard on it.
I know, but that's my point, Jason, but nobody's banning it anymore.
Marty, see the next podcast or subsequent podcast since then, not a mention of it. No any retraction, no any, we might have got that a bit mixed up. Other news has come out since that it just went silent and just nothing. And it's never been known that you have a headline news on the podcast where the next one they don't actually make a mention of it and give a wee follow-up story. There was just nothing. It was just cut for the news.
Because people saw the truth. This is the problem.
No, but I think it goes out to Liam's point. The stranglehold they have over the media,
yes,
is frightening.
But that's my.
But it's backfired, Jason. I think this time that's what he's trying to say. It's backfired on them because it's been shown to be a sham.
People were watching on social media in real time what the fucking animals were doing. So that's why the media blitz didn't work. You know, Netanyahu sending fucking airplanes. No, he didn't send any airplanes. So everybody, you know, that's why everybody was like, we better drop this fucking story here because it's going nowhere. So it was like grand opening, grand closing. You know what I mean?
It was a perfect example of Chinese whispers, right? It fucking went all the way up the chain there. Complete bullshit story. Sky changed their story 5 times in terms of what they'd actually put on their newsreel. So in a negative, perverse way, I think it was actually a good thing that it went all the way up there and it was shown to be complete ridicule.
Messages for fucking Joe Biden.
I know, but this is the thing, Jason. Their strategy, the entire Zionist strategy, is about making people feel frightened abroad so that they move to Israel. So that's what Netanyahu was doing. He was trying to say, come to us, we'll protect you, blah, blah, blah. The problem for Netanyahu is most of Israel is sleeping in fucking shelters tonight because Hezbollah are bombing the fuck out of them. So it's not working. People aren't moving to Israel, so their population's falling because people are leaving. And he relies on things like that, creating this anti-Semitic. Like they're in Paris tonight, they're battering French fans inside the stadium in France. Masked Mossad agents are battering French citizens in France, and the cops are starting fucking watching them. And as Scott says to me earlier on, that table's going to be turned before the night's out. And Scott's probably right, because everybody's watching that in real time. What the fuck do you think's going to happen after that match? There'll be crowds descending on that stadium to kill these fuckers. Do you know? And then Netanyahu will do the same again. He will play it out and say, oh, look at this terrible attack on us, blah, blah, blah. And Macron went to the match tonight saying, we're here in solidarity with you because of what happened in Amsterdam. Nobody's banning it. Nobody's banning it. Like the home counties, British, Jeremy Clarkson type fucking Radio 4 listeners are going to bet. But even that's a fucking stretch now because people have seen the real face of Israel worldwide, globally. You know, and that's like that sort of fucking sympathy is running really thin.
Yeah, I think lowest ever crowd for an international game in France, apparently, which is good.
Well, was it not reduced to 25% or something? 25%?
Oh, was it right? I didn't know. Right,
the French fans boycotted it.
Well, there was still murder inside the match, and I'm only up to seeing a video there now of these guys battering families. How do you think that's going to go down in France? There's going to be absolute fucking murder. You know, that evil face of Zionism has been just disclosed to the world, and that's what they want you to see. They want you to think. They want you to be afraid of them. Nobody's fucking afraid of them. Hezbollah are slaughtering them, and Hamas are still fighting them a year on, starved, barefoot. Fucking, you know what I mean? They're still killing Israeli soldiers. They've been completely. It's like the Wizard of Oz when the fucking dog runs under the curtain. Everybody is saying they forgot that.
That's an amazing analogy.
Yep.
No, it was horrific. Last week, I couldn't believe it. What I was reading, and you think to yourself, I mean, I was in that damn square when it all kicked off. There wasn't any fucking RAF planes coming in to fucking take us out of Amsterdam.
No. And listen, the Ajax fans are famously pro-Israeli. I mean, they're fucking scum.
It was nothing to do with them. They didn't have
No.
anything to do with it at all.
They were bum licking them. But
They
the
local taxi driver, and he's obviously to get his mates out.
and in fairness to the cops, they came out and said it, and so did the mayor. The mayor said that the people of Amsterdam did not start the trouble. It was started by the Israelis, and they had a whole list.
The Navy Amsterdam came out and took Israel's side.
No, but there was another statement. He was standing behind the cop, and the cop says, "This is what happened. This is the timeline. The timeline was they attacked the house, pulled the Palestine flag down. They did this, they did that. They were singing these songs, and he was really annoyed. He was going, we had a public order incident long before the football started, long before anyone went anywhere near the stadium. This was happening, and it was caused by the Israelis." And the mayor was stabbed. He was stabbed. Well, I'm assuming he was the fucking mayor. I'm not sure now you mentioned it, but there was some official who was there too.
The thing is, you've got to ask, right? As soon as Russia invaded Ukraine, UEFA and FIFA just banned them, right? When is UEFA and FIFA going to stand up and ban Israeli teams?
See, I blame the Palestinians for that, because 10 years ago, the entire world was ready to throw Israel out. It went to that big meeting, and the Palestinians welched. At that time, they had shot a Palestinian goalkeeper through his feet, and that was the incident that they were hanging it on. And every fucking country in the world basically was ready to go. It was only a simple majority needed, and they were going to fuck them out. The Palestinians came to some deal. They must have put pressure on them, and they withdrew at the very last minute, because I was watching it in work, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing? And after that, they changed the rules. So it's now not the body of the floor that deals with an expulsion. It goes to the executive committee, and they decide. So there's no fucking chance of Israel getting put out of anywhere, because the executive committee will never, especially with the amount of pressure that the Americans have put on FIFA and stuff, and over the last 10, 15 years, there's no chance now. So if the Palestinians had held their fucking nerve 10 years ago, it would have been done and dusted.
No, but you've got to see yourself what's going on. I mean, they kicked South Africa out for a party. I mean, it's worse than a party that's going on over there.
But this is only the start of it, Jason. This is the rhythm of time. All this will come eventually. Like, the Israelis have lost. Like, they've lost. Like, I was listening to, I'll never forget it, I always said that life. On October the 9th, so 2 days after October the 7th, the former head of the British Army, General Sir Richard Dannett, was on the radio here, and he says Israel are about to make the biggest mistake in their history. They're going to overreact to what Hamas have done. He says they're going to make a huge strategic mistake, and that is exactly what has happened. So Netanyahu is keeping himself in power to stay out of prison. Their economy's in the fucking toilet, and everybody has seen them for what they are. And their army has been shown up to be a fucking bunch of child-killing pussies who can't fight. You know what I mean? Hamas are fighting in an open-air prison, and they've been starved, and they're out fighting in their fucking... Look at Sinwar. When Yahya Sinwar was killed, they released that drone footage thinking it would make him like it was some sort of shameful act. He's become a world icon. He's become like Fidel Castro and fucking Che Guevara and Bobby Sands. Like, that footage is going to be remembered forever as someone who was a resistance fighter. They done his autopsy and found he hadn't eaten 72 hours before he was killed, and they were making that out to be look, he was starving, and they were going, I know, he was fucking starving, and he was on the front line still fighting. What a fucking hero. You know, so everything they've done has rebounded in their faces, and the West will tire of them eventually, because the West has no permanent friends, only has permanent interests. So when the interests turn on Israel's fucked. What's it going to do? Do you know what I mean? Its true face has been seen.
I mean, as it still goes on every day, there's another 50 Palestinians killed today, and tomorrow, and the following day.
And that's the rhythm of time. That's the calculated risk that the Palestinians have taken, because Israel was getting too cozy, and they were cozying up to the Arab states and banning them off. They can't do that now, because the populations of the Arab states have seen what they've done, and they see we get this sanitized fucking shitty news here. Go onto your Fire Stick and look at Al Jazeera Arabic and see the footage that they see. They see fucking everything. That region sees it all. You know, so
I know, but that's one of the most depressing aspects of this is that we can watch it and still wonder why it's still happening.
See, I've got. I don't believe what you're saying is true, Marty. To be honest with you, I know you're coming to a point.
Listen, it may not be true. It may turn out to be wrong, but that's the risk they have taken. They have completely destabilized Israel. They've stopped people coming there. They've destroyed their tourism industry. It's gone. It's fucked. Do you know what I mean? They're relying on these right-wing nutcases in America who are going to rip America apart. And a lot of them actually who don't believe, who are racist, they're Nazis, and who don't like fucking Jews. Do you know what I mean? You've all this coming together, and it's going to pop at some stage because the centre can't hold. And the likes of, see the old Zionists like Biden and all, they're all down off. Do you know what I mean? They're all people who came out of World War and you know, thought that the Zionist project was this protection of a poor and beleaguered population. Everybody now just sees this racist fucking state.
But,
you know.
See when it comes to Jews, Marty, right? I should hang out there, right? I couldn't give a fuck what religion anybody is when I meet them. I don't give a single solitary fuck about who your God is, what you think about it, right? If I recognize by who you are and you tell me, totally respectful, no problem whatsoever, right?
But that's the difference between Judaism and Zionism.
Exactly. And
none
that's
of us
the point
have
here.
None of us have any problems whatsoever.
I don't give a fuck. Like, see when I meet different cultures, you're like this, Jason, right? We're all like this, right? On this podcast, when you meet different cultures, my first thing is like, tell me about that.
Hey, learn about it.
Tell me about that, right? See when I was a bartender in New York, right? See the first proper like Hebrew speaking fucking Jew that I met, right? His name was Joe, right? I know what he did for a living. He was a movie fight coordinator, right? And I said, well, are you the kind of guy I need to have in a fight? And he goes, no, I'm the guy you don't need in a fight. He goes, I know how to miss everybody. but he's the guy that explained Judaism to me. Because it was Christmas time and I met him. I was like, how do you think about Christmas? He goes, I'm a Jew. And I was like, well, I said, I don't really know. I was 21. I was like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't really understand. Like, Christmas? It was Santa? No. He said, no, we don't do fucking Christmas. And he explained it all.
Hello?
Can you hear me? Is it Joe that's went?
I think Joe's went there.
See, Joe's the way I hang the interesting bit in that Al Jazeera podcast, but this was a Jew from Amsterdam that they were going to have a memorial at a Holocaust statue, and the police banned them because they reckon they would have done damage to the statue. And he's like, I'm a Jew. This is a Holocaust memorial. And he says, why the hell would I do damage to this? But there's many Jews that are anti-Zionist.
100%. I am friends with them. We say the head of the Irish Palestine Solidarity Campaign in Belfast is Jewish. She's a friend of mine. So that's me and Judaism. I have no fucking issue with Judaism. I have an issue with Zionism. Zionism's an evil political fucking cancer. It's not a religion. It's a disgusting fascist ideology. It's based on
the British.
No, it's exactly. It's based on ethnic cleansing, and you know, it's not. There's nothing. There's no Zan. It's like I watched an interview with Bob Marley one time with an English journalist, and the English journalist obviously hadn't got a fucking clue. He must have been sent over just to find out what the fuck are these Rastafarians about, and he started talking about Babylon to Bob Marley, and he was saying about the fruits of Babylon, and Bob Marley stopped him and says, "Hold on," he says, "Babylon has no fruit." And that's Zionism. Zionism has no fruit. There's nothing protective about it. It puts Jewish people in danger because it gives the right-wing fucking nutcases who hate Jews an excuse. Do you know what I mean? That's my issue. That's one of my issues with it.
My issue with Zionism is like, it's not a way of being, it's a way of
fucking forcing.
It's a political. Zionism is a political movement. It's nothing to do with religion. And Joe Biden said it himself. You don't have to be a Jew to be a Zionist. You're right. You fucking don't. In fact, it doesn't fucking help being a Jew. And I remember going to London when we were playing QPR at Loftus Road. And I was staying with my mate Mickey, who lived up in Stoke Newington, and it is absolutely full of Jews. Full of them. They're everywhere. Every corner you turn, there was the Hasidic Jews, with the hats and the curly hair and stuff. And I remember, and fuck, it was a laugh. We were actually the place is called the West Bank in North London, and it was full of Jews. And Mickey was saying, no, and it was just around that time the Intifada. 2001, maybe 2002, and Mickey was saying, see the last time the Israelis fucking attacked the Palestinians, all them Jews come around the doors with leaflets saying we don't fucking support this, we're anti-Zionist. And that was my first experience of it. I was like, you're joking. He says, swear to fuck, Martin. He says, they fucking hate Israel. They hate Israel more than us because they can see the corruption of it. You know what I mean? It's corrupting their, as far as they're concerned.
So, is it fair to say like Zionism has separated Judaism from religion and taken it into politics and just made it politics?
Zionism's a political movement. It's nothing to do with being a Jew.
Well, Zionism hasn't anything to do with the Jewish religion.
No.
It's about the Israeli homeland.
Yep.
It's fucking sick. And see, do you know there's a neighbourhood in Jerusalem that's all Hasidic Jews, and they've got Palestinian flags spray painted all over their neighbourhood.
I see. You've seen the pictures of them chasing out riding together.
They do not believe in the state of Israel.
No, they actually do. It's actually more than that. They actually don't believe a state of Israel should exist. They believe a Jewish state is anti-Judaism. That's what they say. It's against our religion to have a state.
Well, how is it possible to elevate those voices then, Martin? Like, why the fuck are those voices elevated? Because
see the work that the Jews for Peace have done in America, Joe, fucking unbelievable. Like and that's my point. They're the ones who the young people are listening to. All these old dickheads like Biden are going to die off, and Jews for Peace they're now bigger than AIPAC. They've chapters all across America run by Jews. They're funding everything, and that's my point. Like, if it wasn't for the money of the Israeli state to buy everybody and to blackmail everybody, like the Epstein fucking, what do you call the Lolita Express? No, that's all Mossad. Mossad are blackmailing half of these politicians, and they're blackmailing the ones that can't buy.
Yeah,
that's how their system runs.
Okay.
And that's it. That's just the way the fucking system runs. You know what I mean? And there's plenty of right-wing Americans, you know, who are evangelical Americans or evangelical Protestants who believe that the rapture's coming and we're all going to fucking die, and they believe that happens when the Jews return to Judea and Samaria. That's when the rapture comes. So they're like millenarian, you know, that sort of fucking maniac fucking cult. You know, at the end of the century they all fucking killed themselves. It's exactly the same philosophy. Exactly the same philosophy. And they believe that the Jews should be put into, and the Zionists make fun of them. They just go to America and tell these cunts whatever they want. They love us. They'll just give you money, and vice versa. So it's like but that can't last. You know what I mean? That can't last.
Do you know what? As Dave Chappelle said, fucking white people.
Well, that's, you know what I mean? There's
fucking white people.
There's plenty of fucking bleeding go around. But anyway, I've got to go because I'm knackered.
Right, hang on to wrap it up.
Right,
that was quite an eventful experience. Folks, we'll be back. We're back as usual. And let's say goodbye.
Enjoyed that. Cheers, guys.
We saw nothing. We found out nothing. And we'll come back and see him again. But we're always here.